Well, first, thanks everyone for taking the time to come here and have this chat. So as Susanna says, maybe many of us comes from very various backgrounds with different set of skill set that we have now, and we all want to have a career in machine learning, whatever that is. And so that's a different, quite difficult to maneuver. But what I want to have given you in this for your time here is that at least you can get some element or two from my story, from my journey that might be useful for your own machine learning journey. Since we are gonna take some, you are gonna take some time listening to me for about 30 minutes, I think, and then we can continue for a Q&A portion after that. So I'm gonna introduce myself. So a little bit about me. I arrived in Japan 2011, pursue a PhD in mathematics. I was a math postdoc until March 2020, and it's until 2020 because from April I would have been jobless by that time. So I knew I would be jobless like 6 months earlier. So I think around October 2019 I started to prepare, but I really didn't know what to do, like where to start, what's the job. I mean, the only decision I made is that I'm gonna stop applying to academia and I'm gonna move to industry. I will commit to that, whatever it takes. But what to go, where? So that's why I have a lot of empathy when people ask me on how to transition, because it's a tough journey, but it's definitely doable. So currently, I'm a tech lead in a company in Japan, where some of the core contributions I did is to be the sole engineer for this no-code AI platform when they're building it from zero to MVP, some certain speedups for our AI services, like some even 100 times speedups. I also led the development of an in-house optical character recognition. This is basically a teaching machines how to read, just basic reading AI. So code base that trains at 10 times faster. So some personal project that I'm currently doing now is Confab. Hopefully, at least one of you have seen it. It's like meetup for academia. So we don't have a mobile platform, so the only the web looks nice. And so another thing I'm doing, as Susanna mentioned, is we have MLT Init. If you already started your machine learning journey, you're probably familiar with this and why we have that. So this is a monthly talk, and hopefully when you are in this stage where you are ready to dive in, read papers, understand more, if you have preparations for that, then I think this would be a good starting point for specific topics, such as we have object detection, transformers. We have videos and notebooks and slides from all our speakers here. So yeah, I hope this also will be helpful to you. Next, just a little bit. When I'm free, I play guitar and Elden Ring. I don't suggest Elden Ring for people who are transitioning now. So yeah, as I said, when I decided to transition, I didn't know what to do. I don't even know what data science was. And so I think we should start with the career. So what are the options? And the reason I want to start with this is because if you know the options, if you know where you're targeting, you probably would know how to equip yourself, or what skill set will you equip yourself. So this is like the standard band if you're gonna develop an AI service, probably these 6 people, if it's some huge project, like this, these 2 over here are a bit special. They require more. Probably an architect should know all of this 4 stuff over here. A product manager should know the overall ML workflow on a high level, at least on a high level of the ML workflow, such that it's easier to communicate with your team and what they need, and things like that. So we're not gonna describe each and every one of this, because the reality is, if you find this, if you already start looking for jobs in data science and machine learning, you'll find that the descriptions of this vary greatly from company to company. Sometimes a machine learning engineer, they want someone who can read from paper, make it, implement it, and just that. Or some even more, some want some very fast deployment inference that have strict latency restrictions and things like that. Some data scientists are, and some companies, required to do basically machine learning engineer job. I would say most of data science job would be, if you have a knowledge domain, this probably is something that that you would want to work on, where you would have an advantage. So so instead of discussing each and every one of these, I think it's better to ask yourself some questions, like, do you already have a job in mind? Like, you heard of this, you've Googled them, and so did something of them stick to you? And if so, why? You should have an answer for the why, because that would mean you know the strengths, your strengths. Like, for example, you would say, I think I'll be, I have an advantage if I enter a data science career, because I've been working on this like niche niche part of I don't know, banking, or you're a chemist, or you've been doing something specific and with data, or even without data, but you know there's data now, and that if you equip yourself with some data science tools, and then you'll be more equipped to deliver value to companies. So I think having an answer to this is important. Although even if you don't have it, it's okay. I didn't have an answer. It's so confusing. Like, so the next thing that you might ask yourself are, what are your transferable skills? And some people say, like, what are your superpowers? Again, this could be your knowledge domain, or if you're already managing a team in your previous company, then that's definitely a transferable skill that that would be appreciated. And yeah, find a way to justify it to yourself. Like, why would this make you stand out on a specific job? But at the end of the day, if it's really hard to decide, just start one. Yes, just do something. Start with one, and what you will notice once you enter this industry is that you will need to keep adding skills anyway. Like, you cannot just stick with the skills that you had from well, it depends. It always depends. But it's always helpful to, and more, it gives you a wider view. Like, if you try new things, even just for fun, in the end, you'll be adding skills to yourself. So my advice, just start one. So that's deciding what to aim to, right? Career. And then next, learning resources. Now that you know, what are you aiming for? So how will you equip yourself? So what will you equip yourself to be able to achieve that goal? And I cannot stress this enough, but the first one actually is a mentor. It's unbeatable. We will have more, but yeah, if you have an acquaintance, you know, a friend, or there's a community that that can provide this, uh, it's important. Our our world now doesn't lack information. It has a lot of information out there, accessible as well, right? But I think the difficult part is, what's a path? It's just drawing a path on those that gets you to some place that you want to be. And if you have a mentor, they might have tried and failed a bunch of paths that might work for you. Then you can listen to their stories and on what uh, on you have a wider view. It's like a uh, cheat looking into the future. You're trying but not really trying, because you heard the story, and you're running the scenarios on your head based from the things you find on your mentor. In my case, my friend is a software engineer, not necessarily machine learning. So when I say I want to move to industry, he's the one who told me, like, try data science. It was the first time I heard it when he mentioned it to me. And so data science, machine learning. Okay, so find a mentor if you can. It's difficult. And what you can do now, things you can do just now and for free. So this is me as well, zero to low Python experience. When I started, I think at that time, Data Camp has this data scientist with Python. And I think subscribing to them that time cost me $20, if I'm not mistaken. And it's very nice because they really start with the basic of Python, like adding, multiplying variables and things like that, and go to some data science libraries. But this one, while talking to advising another guy, I've I saw about Kaggle Learn. And what's good about this, when I checked it, is that like this Python path, this Python course over here, there's nothing to miss here. Like, if you're really starting from zero, you should be comfortable with all of these things written here. Like, you'll be messing around with lists, loops, strings, dictionaries, and you need to work with a lot of external libraries. So I thought, this is just great. It's a collection. Like, if you just Google how start learning Python, it's huge, right? There's a lot of things to learn, but at least here they're a nice chapter with tutorials and exercise. So yeah, I would advise on if you start from zero Python, you definitely start from here, or that or this one. There's probably other things else, but what I like here, it's a collection of ready to use stuff. Then I think if you're already a programmer, or you've been programming from your previous job, either it's from academia or a software company, then yeah, just jump straight to MOOCs. And there's so many: Udemy, Coursera, this Data Camp as well, and start doing things and ask the why after you've done it. I mean they have a lot of good the way the lessons are made anyway. So just jump into it. I'm not sure I have a good advice here, but yeah, something high level for machine learning workflow, end to end, from defining the problem, getting data, to how do you serve that as a service, something like that. So so now we know our goal. We know where to find place to train, to equip ourselves. Now we want to optimize our learning. And for me, I learn most when I really apply it to something personal, something uh, like, here are some examples. I would suggest like creating well-explained, well-written Jupyter notebooks to start with. It could be EDA here means an exploratory, I don't know what time is it. Exploratory data analysis of data sets that you find interesting. Like you can start, of course, with the standard one, like the Titanic data set you find on Kaggle and house pricing and things like that. But you'll learn more if you do things that interest you. Like for me was some gaming data, gaming statistics data that I wanted to visualize. Another story I have for this, ask your friend, like they might have some problems that you might be able to help to solve. So the situation was, my friend works in an NGO and they working with the government, and it was early COVID and they want to deliver goods to people in need. And so they have some data that has like amount of salary, something like that's not really salary, of certain regions of the city. So they want an optimal path, or at least a reasonable path they could justify to go to this place first with the amount of people, and then this other places next. So yeah, using pandas and NumPy and Matplotlib, Seaborn, these libraries help me make help them make some visualizations that got the government moving. So yeah, definitely ask your friend and talk about like you're doing data science stuff. Some things which I would also appreciate would be like if this shows your geeky side. Like if you've noticed, like you've got really into Python and notice like certain functions or certain modules like work better than what most people do, then showcase it. Like you can say like, hey, if you use this and you look at like this, then you'll be like 3 times faster. And yeah, so having this on your GitHub for me is attractive. Another kind of notebook would be, maybe you're training a model, you're showing them you're training a model, and so there's a lot of hyperparameters there. And one thing is you can justify why you started with certain parameters and then why you changed them. The why is important. Why you changed them the way you did. And sometimes you can say, well, most of these parameters doesn't really matter, but this one particular parameter over here, this would affect the performance the most. So if you highlight that, if you have justifications on your explanations, I think those are attractive. So this not only help you in learning, but also prepare you on when you get an interview, when you get sent a data science test. So definitely I would advise to do this. Now, if you are on a more advanced stage, then you can challenge yourself with this a lot of very easy to use and help platforms such as Gradio and fast API. Like the good thing about this is you make something, you wrap some open source library out there, you make package them, and then you will have a link for other people. You can send your family, your parents, your friends, like, hey, upload the picture here, and then you'll change, or you'll be upload an old photo, and then it will be renew as, and it will be upscale and things like that. So these are fun, and also very important skills that you will learn, like just deploying stuff. So if you are in this situation, like you Google, and there's really nothing much out there. I mean, there is, but they're on very difficult to find web pages, or hidden under docs, and then they're all a bunch of different places. So yeah, a simple GitHub README is good. It's good for you. I mean, um, it's good when like me, I would forget things. If you're doing a lot, you can forget them easily. But if you have this, not only to showcase that you did the work, and it might help another person. So my mentality for this is I do it for myself just because I'm forgetful, but I will share it in public just because there probably is one other guy out there who would need this. If you're already in the situation, you know you're doing something niche. So don't expect to be viral and things like that. That's the reason why nobody has written a summary for it. So you're doing it. You're one of the first people doing it. So do it well and try to improve it. Means, yeah, that's it. So this is optimizing learning. Okay, now so now you feel you optimize your learning, and you're ready to send applications, job applications, and prepare for interviews and things like that, right? So one thing that is low effort but high impact: prepare your LinkedIn profile. If you don't have a LinkedIn, just make a LinkedIn now. And there's some simple ways. You now that you know about this, you can Google it better. So using appropriate keywords for your skill set, and which you can justify to yourself, like some things that you just don't realize, but it's actually related to some data science stuff. So it's also a good practice on really understanding your own skill set. And here, use the headline creatively. So that space after a name where most people put their X's, like X Google, X Facebook, X Meta, and things like that. So that's a headline. That's not your job title or your company. So you can write anything there, make some keywords, make it attractive. I think now they have like a open for job. I'm not sure. I haven't used it, but yeah, just maximize the feature of LinkedIn. Yeah, the reason for this is that, at least in Japan, another reason for this is, so most companies rely on recruiters to refer them to jobs, right? Not their own websites where people send applications. They mostly rely on recruiters, and recruiters find people through LinkedIn. So if you make yourself searchable, that would increase your chance in this very difficult field. So that's it. And Next is network. You really, yeah, the value of good community is, it's hard to say. Like, I was not expecting anything when I joined MLT. I just joined organically. I attended some Rakuten seminar, not seminar, event where MLT got an award. That's how I saw Susanna, and also by that time so I searched about MLT, and then they were doing some math sessions. Like, I thought I probably won't need that because I came from math, but it's probably nice to chat with people, and also I might be able to contribute there. So I did. I ended up attending all the events after then, and then also being able to present some of the topics there. And yeah, it's hard to quantify or even imagine the value of joining and being active in a good community. Just opens you to a lot of stuff because you have like-minded people doing things, and you learn from them. Yeah, hopefully you can contribute as much as you can, and yeah, so that would help with your networking. That's an organic one and a very fruitful and fun one to do, joining communities. This is not bad. Cold DMing people. Like, some people will reply. Like, I do sometimes. Yeah, like sometimes I'm free. Like, these days, not so much. That's why I thought maybe scale this one-on-one thing. But yeah, and if they don't reply to you, that's just it, right? They have their own time. They have their own bandwidth. So, but this is worth giving a try. And also, but yeah, keep in mind, be respectful, and yeah, I think a decent person. Another thing that would greatly help, and a good practice, is writing a clear and concise CV. Maybe just up to 2-page max. You probably have done a lot that you can put there, but yeah, it's hard to summarize, and you probably think you're missing out on things. But yeah, try to keep it same. The people read this. No, not everyone, but when they get to read, a person would read this, and if your CV is not very friendly, yeah, we're humans. It gives some negative feeling with your probably lessens your chance. So that's one. And also, big if you apply to just online, just if you just send your CV without any connections without through recruiters or things like that, your CV might not be read by a person. It might be discarded from the system itself, from the ones that whatever system that they have. So upload the CV. They have some keywords. If you didn't have this matching of keywords, a certain percentage, your CV won't be read by a person. So this so this helps there if you want to do that part. But I would suggest against it. It might be more stressful. It's better to, if you have more LinkedIn, I think now recruiters will just flock to you. So keep tab of your tech stack. So this one I just did recently. I made an image of my tech stack, but this would help you in really assessing what do you know now. Where can you improve? Where does this thing you know helps? And so when you have your CV, you should have your GitHub portfolio linked together with your CV. So an example of ML tech stack. This is what I think I would have now. And I definitely started with just this. Scikit-learn, it's very kind. It's very, also there's a lot of resources. It's very nice, fun to learn, and easy to use. You don't need a high spec computer to run things here. So that's a good thing. And yet the basics of data science are incorporated on the APIs there. Like there's some cross-validation things there, splitting of data, and then you'll see those consistently on tutorials, and you will have a natural understanding. But of course, you need to ask more questions from that. But this, yeah, scikit-learn was very helpful. I remember one of my early interviews with companies. They asked the tech lead, first question, what is cross validation? I was like, because I don't like memorizing. I don't memorize cross validation, but I explained to it why I do cross validation and how I do cross validation. And why is it necessary? I won't elaborate on that. So, and also he asked me things like, what is F1 score and things like that. So some things that I don't remember, but I know why they happen and how to do it. I would say, yeah, I'm always confused with which is which. What is so I would have you a confusion matrix. I would tell him, and then I'll talk from the confusion matrix, and then I will give him use cases from that. So those are some things that yeah, help you manage interviews. It's okay you forget things, but if you learn properly, you can navigate you can navigate yourself. Keep talking, and some of them are kind, so they would actually eventually would say you, oh, actually it's called this. Like, okay, thank you. So yeah, I started with this. I hated the data part, but eventually you'll need that. Now I've been doing more of this on the production side. Hugging Face, love Hugging Face. Low code. Some of my personal apps use this, and yeah, yes, start taking notes of what your ML stack, and maybe start making images, and you see them. It's nice to see once you add more here, right? So that's preparation for application for jobs, and these are for interviews. I already started about it. Yeah, prepare for based on the job, read the job description properly and see how you can sell yourself. Like sell yourself, meaning like what value do you add, like on that particular task that they want, and highlight those. And if you can justify it to yourself, then it would be easier to justify it to other people. Yeah, also you probably would get a lot of rejections, which isn't bad, but you can turn that into value as well for yourself by just learning from every interview. Like, was it presenting yourself? Like, did you is it the nature of job? Is it just incompatibility? Or sometimes when you got out, like, oh, I could have answered that question like this. So yeah, take notes of this and make every interview a learning one as much as you can. And then I think not sure what the time is, but I think that's all I have. So yeah, thank you for your time. And